Good evening, everyone. Mentors, we're very excited to have you. You're part of our dream team. I'm going to go ahead and start off with our quick webinar. Again, we're not meeting on Tuesday. This is just so you can review and go through this. I'm also going to be sending you documents and a Google Doc so that you can go ahead and just put your comments, feedback, questions that we can be answering throughout from now until Wednesday. So just to reiterate expectations for the program, again, I think we went over this, so I'm going to kind of skip this part, but just essentially just being very respectful to our audience. One of the first things that we do is once we're there, remember arriving there about 3 o'clock or earlier 2:30, just to help us finalize any details. Your support is very appreciated. Again, if you're not able to arrive at that time, please let us know in advance. But as soon as you get there, we're going to be assigning you to some quick, simple roles just to kind of help us set up logistically, maybe cashier for a little bit, maybe ushering people to our tables, um, and so forth. So we'll help you with that. And then right at the start at 4 o'clock is when we're going to really promptly start. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. But a key component is just to introduce yourself at your table, even before the start. So right before 4 o'clock, just introducing yourself. Hey, I'm a mentor. I'm very honored and excited to work with you today. And if you have any questions, let me know. That's what I'm here for. I really care about your growth. And just very sincere smile, handshake. And that's the whole point, is for them to really view you as that person that's a role model for them. Now, because of the challenge with doing a bilingual program, to keep it interactive and engaging, Jose and I will be going back and forth. Um, I'll take on a slide in English, and then he'll do that same slide in Spanish. It's a good opportunity for the audience to hear it in both languages, but as they're waiting for their turn again, they can use that time while they're waiting to actually continue taking down notes and ask any questions. So that's pretty much the setup. But with that said, because of the limited time and we want to get so much accomplished, we will rely on you very heavily for supporting us with a lot of the activities, the discussions, and the information. So I'll show you what that looks like in a moment, but you're going to be essentially facilitating your group. So we're going to have a mentor in each table of 8 individuals. So again, here it says 2 o'clock, but let's say 2 or 2:30. And then keep in mind that we're going to stay 15 minutes after the seminar so we could debrief and help pack things up. We're saying 15 minutes. And that should be good. And we want your feedback. That really matters to us. So essentially, these are the roles. We're going to give you more details at the moment, but we essentially need 2 cashiers, 2 ushers to get people from the entrance into their tables, and we already have our video recorder and photographer. And then the mentor facilitators, we're going to have about 1 mentor per table. And again, you're actually giving information. And at the table, there will be name tags and markers, and that's for them again to write their name and put those "Hello, my name is" type of name tag on their chest. And there will also be it says here index cards, but we'll actually have post-it notes for them to write any questions. That way they could write the questions down, and then you can see the question and then answer it. So that way it doesn't cause disruption or talking during the presentation. So just tell your team that, again, to write the questions down on the post-it, and then when they see it, you'll go pick it up and answer the question. You could even write the response or whisper it to them maybe during the discussion time. So that'll be essentially it. Interventions, we have these just in case. I think we're gonna have a good group, but just in case, let's say someone's not participating, they're talking, just kind of approach them And so if they're not engaged, just hey, what do you think about the slide? So just ask them. Just it's more of a question, and you're not questioning their participation. You're just trying to get them involved. Um, hey, I'm here to help you out. Do you have any questions? I really care about your success. That's the language we want to communicate. Do you need anything? And then stage two, um, this could be this, maybe the children aren't getting along. Sometimes parents might not get along. You might not see them interacting. You might not see them participating or writing anything down. They might not have started the activity. And you could just say, hey, hi, I want you to get the most out of the seminar, care about your success. Do you have any questions? You could be a little bit more upfront and just talk about what you notice. Again, no judgment based, just a fact. Oh, I noticed you haven't started yet. Um, can I help you with anything so that you can have a good experience? Let me know. And I think after we do that, just walk away. If we stay there, then it seems like we're really on them too much, and that can create some anxiety. And then stage three, if that happens again, just bring it up to Jose or myself, and you can also ask Oscar, and then we'll figure it out from there. But at any moment, don't try to remove anybody from the group. That'll be for us to take care of, and that'll be it for that. So we just have these just as safeguards to make sure everything runs smoothly. Now, another thing is making sure that we have professional wear. So I'll go over that, and just really quickly, gentlemen, we are mentors, so I guess I would just say, dress shoes, slacks, maybe a nice dress shirt. You don't have to wear a tie, but I think when we do go that route and look really professional, I think it really sends a great message. So ladies as well, professional slacks, professional dress wear if you like. Um, Again, if you have any questions about that, just think about, I would picture for the girls, picture a lawyer, guys picture a lawyer as well. When you see those pictures of what a lawyer wears, essentially that's the professional wear that we're going for. All right, here we go. So you're going to have two things. You're going to have this PowerPoint here that you see, and you're also going to have this outline. And this just breaks minute by minute what's going to happen. So I'm going to run through that, but you'll have that so you can, kind of use that to see where you come in. So we broke it up into several pieces. We have part one, introduction. That's all just introducing us, and then a couple of activities to start. And anywhere you see where it's green, that's facilitated by you. And the script is there for you. You can actually read the script. It's fine. Just don't make it so obvious that you're reading it, but you can use that to guide you. So we don't expect you to memorize any of this stuff. Just knowing what happens is, I guess, the more important thing. But this will guide you. So anytime you see green, that means that you're leading that section. So you'll see the green parts there. All right. You're very instrumental to this. So we'll go get started. So we'll start with part one, the introduction. So when people arrive there, we're going to have this slide up, and people are just going to be filling their name tags. You're going to help them out. Just point them to where the restrooms are at if they need anything. Have them go get snacks and refreshments, and that's where you introduce yourself to the team. Have them introduce each other so they can network. We're going to have our logo, a little quick video about that. And then we're going to have this Chicago Bulls theme song, I guess. I don't know if I can even play it here. There it is. So some of you remember this was essentially the song for like the Bulls. And we're going to be introducing the Legacy Mentor team. So that's cool, right? And Mr. Hernandez, myself, and Oscar will be introduced. And then Oscar is going to introduce you. So all the mentors will be asked to come to the stage, and we're going to high five each other, kind of like a soccer or NBA basketball team when they get on the court. We want to just bring some energy, play some music, get it live in there. All right, so that's the introduction. So be ready for that. That's going to happen at what time? That happens 5 minutes in, so that would be 4:05 p.m. this was an old slide, so disregard that. We're going to have a special guest who Abel Diaz and Marta Diaz. So they are the owners of the whole location, and they're going to talk to us about their success. So that's the special guest part. Mr. Hernandez and I will do this briefcase demonstration to show the metaphors of success that they will be able to attain if they use the mindset techniques. We're going to go over outcomes. There's going to be Mr. Hernandez and I will do this in English and Spanish, as you can see. And just notice how everything is kind of very synced. This is the slide number here. This is the topic, again, the time. And these are just kind of like notes for ourselves, but you really just be looking at this information here. All right, so again, with this slide, Mr. Hernandez and myself, we're going to be talking about the outcomes. Essentially, what are they going to get today? And then when this question comes up, if you were to achieve these goals today, what would that mean for you? That's to create motivation. And what we're going to have the participants do is to, with a partner, is to share for 30 seconds each what that would mean for them if they achieve these goals. So all you're doing really here is just making sure they're sharing with a partner. So if somebody doesn't have a partner, partner up with them, but just make sure everybody's talking about that. So what's going to be cool about this is that we're going to be projecting in Spanish on two sides. So these slides will be up. So two of them will be in Spanish and the main one will be in English. So you can always, again, the slides will be there to guide you, so you'll know what the directions are, essentially, because they're on the slide. So that's cool. All right, so there's nothing for you to read out. There's no script here, just kind of making sure that they are doing that. All right, then we're going to talk about some norms. We call them the legacy family values. And then again, we're going to ask the question, and essentially these family values are there so that we can make our table talks the most productive, because the more they engage in their discussions and in their groups, the more they get out of the seminar. So we'll ask this question: which family value do you feel is the most important for your group to be successful, and why? So then they're going to really think about it and essentially talk as in pairs, or it might be as a group. So which ones do you think are the most important? And again, we'll tell you the times and that. So that would probably, even though it's not listed, so then that would be about slide 10. So that'd be like just a minute per share. I'll type that in. Sorry, didn't get to do that. All right, now next piece is it's called Dream Your Biggest Dream. Now anytime you see an M here, that means that it's mentor driven, mentor led. That means that you're giving instructions and helping them achieve this. So you have all the timings in here in the PowerPoint. Again, you're going to receive the PowerPoint. You're also going to receive it in Spanish. Oscar's going to send all that to you. You're also going to get this outline to show you where we're at. And so let's see what this one's about. So in the top, you'll also see in the notes section here, you'll notice just basic timings to help you out. 2 minutes to explain and show the vision board sample. So when we say explain, meaning explaining the directions, and showing the vision board sample will be will all be within that 2 minutes. And so we'll just set the timer for 10 minutes, but you'll know that the first 2 minutes are to explain the directions, get them started, and then they'll have 8 minutes to write out their dream. So what they're going to be doing, they're going to write down what they would see themselves doing in 5 years if they knew they couldn't fail. So think about them at almost like, coming back from the future and telling them themselves what they accomplished. All right, so what we're going to have, we're going to play some light music in the background, motivational music, and they're going to be completing document A. So here's your script. You're basically saying, for our first segment, we'll be asking you that you get ready to unleash your creative imagination. We ask that you remove any distracting items from your tables or hands so you can fully engage in this powerful activity. Using document A, you're going to write down your dreams and goals for the next 5 years in these 4 areas. But you must think as a child would with no fear, okay? So remember, you cannot fail at these goals, so we want you to think huge. Again, I'm just reading the script here. And we want them to be as specific as possible. For example, if you want a house, how many bedrooms? How many? What kind of car is it? What model? Okay. And so we have a sample here that you're going to, and we're going to give you these documents too, so you can just have them ready. So this is a dream vision collage, and again, it's going to be in 4 quadrants. So they're going to be making personal goals, career goals, contribution goals, adventure goals. And again, they're writing this as if they've already achieved it in the future. So you're going to essentially show them how they're going to fill this out, but have them reference this one. So the participants also get this sample copy. I'll leave it there just kind of for you to explore. For example, they make a legacy declaration. I will create a new life full of energy and happiness. I'll lose 30 pounds. I'll start my own business, buy a 4-bedroom home, and make my daughter proud. And then, so in terms of being specific in these categories, here's just an example. So we have another category is called adventure goals, because people want to get things that they just want to, like what we call adventure or toys, material things, and that's fine, right? They want to get a house of their dreams. So being specific, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, with a pool, big front lawn, a dog named Fluffy. Like, they're getting very specific, and they're talking almost in past tense as they've already bought this. So that's very powerful. Research shows that. So you have this sample document. You can get an idea of what the personal domain, career domain, contribution, adventure, it's all denoted there, and they have a sample. So again, just showing them what the activity is, what the directions are, and they're just going to be outlining, their dream vision collage. And the time will be up. So I still haven't embedded all the timers in, but I will. So you can always use that. Again, this will be playing, and it's just a little timer countdown. I'm not going to go into this so much, but the main thing is just for also you're going to also learn some really great things as well. So let's go to this slide here. This is slide 14, so as you can see, this will be a little 3-minute segment. So all we're going to do is we're going to have an opportunity for the participants to teach each other what they learned. So it's just kind of, we call it in teaching land, we call it check for understanding. So we're going to tell each member, all right, so now turn to your partner and teach them the formula. Take 30 seconds each and recall what you remember. And then, so that's 30 seconds each with a partner, so that's a minute. And then they have a minute of questions. So they're just going to have a minute to maybe ask you any questions to help clarify what the formula elements were. And then that'll be that piece. So you're not giving any directions, you're just facilitating, you're just making sure that they're teaching each other, and you're answering questions. That's the only reason why we put an M there, because you're going to maybe answer some questions in the formula. So we obviously want you to pay attention and enjoy and learn about the X factor, which is powerful research. All right, next we're going to start the very first component of the mindset, which is strategy. So this should not be here, so we'll skip that. All right, so this is we're going to present a document that gives them resources, and in this document we're just going to have them look at the document and circle the resources that will help them with their biggest goals in life. All right, so I'll show you what that document looks like. That's document B. And it's just a document where they can find resources in different categories. This is not an exhaustive list, so there's definitely more. But let's say they want to learn about making money. Well, we got a couple of sample websites that they can go to. Let's say they need to find a mentor, etc. Books, so they want to learn English, Spanish, they want free courses. It's just an initial start, and we're just going to have them circle any that would be helpful in their goal. So that's all they're going to do. So all you're going to do is just make sure that they're circling resources that can help them in their goal or goals. And then the next thing is, if there isn't a resource in that document that I just showed you, then there's going to be provided post-its. So we're going to have them just write any resource that they wish that was in the document. They can write it on that post-it. And all you're going to do is just circulate and collect the post-its and give them to us, because we're going to then, based on their needs, update that document, put it on the website, and send it out by email as well, so they can keep having all the resources they need. All right, next. We're then going to go into the second component of the mindset, which is a story. So at this point, Hernandez and I are just going back and forth, English and Spanish. So we're really directing this piece. So I'm going to go to the next part where you're involved. Now, we're going to get to what are called the power of stories, where we have limiting and empowering beliefs. So what we're going to have them do is, on this document I'm about to show you, is they're going to circle any that they feel have held them back. So let's look at document C. All right, so what they're going to do is, in this document, let's say, oh man, this one is the one for me. I'm always thinking of this. No one will ever love me. I can never do this. These are the ones that I'm always like being limited by. So they'll circle the ones, and they can also circle any of these that they agree with, right? Let's look on the positive note, right? What's this trying to connect thing? Okay. So they're gonna do that. Now you're essentially leading this part here. So you're giving the directions, and essentially they're on the slide. So the slide will be up again, projected. So you just say circle the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Now, using their dream vision, right? The document, I think it was document A, using the 4 quadrants. We want them also to write down any limiting beliefs that are not on the list as well. And so let's look at document C again. Where did that one go? Okay, right here. So we're going to have them write down their limiting beliefs from this list that have been holding them back. So they might pick some limiting beliefs from up here as well. They might say, oh, these are spot on. These are like 3 of the ones that have been really hurting me. So they'll just rewrite them here. And then there might be 2 that weren't on the list that we gave them that they also felt are hurting them. So they can write those there. Now the next part is creating beliefs. So you're now giving the directions here, where you're just going to tell them, all right, now for each limiting belief, create a new counter belief that is empowering. So again, on the same document, they're just going to be writing. So this part will already be filled. Now in this piece, they're just going to be writing their empowering beliefs right there. So basically converting them into empowering ones. And again, this PowerPoint tells you, how much time they have. So mentor directions, they have 30 seconds. And they're going to take, it says 2 minutes, so they're going to have 2 minutes to create those beliefs. Now, Mr. Hernandez are going to lead this one. Again, there's no M, so you're not giving any directions. So we're going to be telling them ways that they can make these new beliefs longer lasting, so they can be ingrained in the mind. So we're going to give them ideas. And then now we come back to you, and you're going to give the directions where they're going to look at their limiting beliefs or the new beliefs that they have, and decide on one of these action steps that Hernandez and I went over. And they're just going to pick one of them, one action step that they're going to take today, and they're going to write that on document C right here on the bottom. So my action step is, and again they'll have several options, and based on what we showed them. So that's that part. Again, that's a 2-minute activity total. Again, you're gonna see, I just want to make sure I got this out to you, but you're gonna have like timers for each activity. So your main idea is just to get the directions out as quickly as possible, get them started in that activity. Then we have a break time, 5 minutes. We're just gonna go get some more snacks, bathroom, come back. We're gonna do a quick stretch activity, just get them moving around, and we'll get started again. Then we talk about the third element of the mindset, which is your state and how to do that. So nothing really here that you're really in charge of until we get to slide 31. So now this is where we start really incorporating you very, very heavily in terms of helping facilitate this information. So now we're going to talk about how to get a positive state, and you're going to have this exact script that you can read. Now the main idea here is that there's going to be a couple objects that you'll have to kind of demonstrate a lot of these ideas. So I'll go over this one, right, because this is actually one of the heaviest ones. So one way to change, this is what you're reading. So it says 5 minutes, mentor reads a script and demonstrates the principles with a couple of props that you'll have. So you'll have a little tub of props. Very basic stuff, nothing fancy. And then they're going to have a minute to reflect, and I'll show you what that is. And the reflection question will be this at the end. But here's your script for 5 minutes. You're just going to be, you could read it. You could even hold it up and read it and then kind of demonstrate. So one way to change your state is to change your body in 2 ways, through body language and body energy. So the research shows that your posture, how you stand up or sit up, facial expressions, breathing patterns can change your state. So you're basically saying all this stuff. So you're saying, then you'll tell your group, so I want everybody in this group to try this. How would somebody be sad with their body? So you're going to model that. They're going to do the same. We're probably slouched like this. Our head is down. We're breathing very shallow. And then you'll say, I already feel miserable, right? And you will feel that. It's actually pretty interesting. Again, I'm reading the script here. Now I want you to stand in a position of power. So you could even have them stand up if you want, or sit up straight. Arch your backs, sit up straight, tall, chest out, head tilted, hands on your waist like Superman. Big deep breaths of confidence. And wow, what an instant difference. They will feel that. And again, you can talk about this university study here. And again, you demonstrated it. So these are hands-on stations. You're essentially a leader of this hands-on experience, doing these little things with your group of 8 parents or students, depending on what group you're in. Now, the next part is body energy. So again, you just read your script. The only thing here is on when we get to diet, we're creating these, so you don't have. I can't show you this yet, but essentially there's going to be a plate with a picture over the cover that shows what portion sizes should look like. Again, and you just show them and pass it around the group for them to see what portion size is. Culturally speaking, we overeat, and that's actually one of the leading causes of diabetes, heart disease, etc. So we want to give a couple basic tips. We don't want to give them a nutrition course. Again, this piece is only 5 minutes, but we have some props to make it interactive and make it sink in. Sometimes if they just have one easy tip, that can make a lifestyle difference. So you're going to give some examples of that. So that's our prop for the diet segment. For the sleep segment, again, read the script, and then we're going to have a sleep mask from the dollar store that they can put over and kind of create a dark environment, which that helps them fall asleep. For water, we're going to just give you a water bottle. Just tell them that, it tells you right here that 8 ounces. So that's actually, I'll put that here. That's actually about 4 water bottles. So that's your prop, nothing fancy. You're just going to say 4 of these per day. And sometimes that varies. If you're very athletic, they recommend, an extra 2 or 3. Exercise. So our prop here, again, after you're reading this information, is we're going to have jump rope. Studies show that 10 minutes of jump roping is the equivalent to 30 minutes on the treadmill. So that'll be your prop, and you can pass that around. It's just to make it a little bit more engaging, right? And then now here's a reflection for 1 minute. So you went through this for 5 minutes. You showed them the props. They were engaged. And now you ask them this question. So now identify one area that if you improved would have a tremendous impact on your life. Now they can jot this down on their notes. So again, they're going to have these slides and little notes on the sides. I don't know if you've ever seen a PowerPoint printed out in note fashion. So they're going to be writing information down, and then you can even have them share with a partner. But on this slide, this will be 31. We have 7 minutes allotted. So I'd say 5 minutes to go over it, maybe 2 minutes to review. So on here, we're going to put the timer to say 7 minutes. Again, so just follow the timer is kind of your cue as to where we're at. The next part essentially is focusing. And again, when you're delivering this and you're just kind of, even though you're reading out the script, just show some enthusiasm and some engagement. Just like, oh wow, did you guys know that? That's really awesome. We know you're great mentors, and you'll really engage them. So, but I think that's always just showing our passion in it. They follow along with that. You'll enjoy, for example, as you read. This is just amazing research. Race car drivers and how they're trained to focus using psychology, so that when they get out of control and they skid out, they get back on the track and they don't crash. So you're going to have fun as you read this. Again, that's going to be sent to you, so you can go over that. I'm just going to delete this piece. Don't worry about that. You have everything else there. You're all set. And for focus, just so the time, that'll be 4 minutes. There isn't a reflection piece on this. It's just 4 minutes of you kind of going through it. If you finish earlier, maybe have any questions. But again, the timer, I'll put it up here. It's like a little online timer for 4 minutes. Language. And here it's essentially the same thing. You're just reading the script here. But you really want to emphasize these power statements. So I'm not going to go through this. I want you to actually read the script. And in the Google Doc, just put questions and things like that if you need anything to be clarified. All right, and then, for that language piece, that's 4 minutes. So you'll see the timer there for 4 minutes. Now we're going to do this activity. So I'm going to guide you a little bit, because this is a powerful activity in neuroscience. It's just the power of focus. When we focus on our goal, it makes us laser focused, and it opens our neural pathways. So our brain cells really activate and really help us in reaching our goals. That's where the whole idea of the law of attraction came. The author didn't really know the science of it, but there is some heavy science, and it's pretty crazy. But it's more of the neurons and your brain and your subconscious working to produce all the information you need to reach your goals. So in this thing, I'll actually demonstrate it with you on how you'll deliver this piece. So you'll now, team members, you will now experience the power of focus. I would like all of you in this table of 8 to close your eyes, and when I say go, you will open your eyes and actively look for the color brown and only brown. So again, they still have their eyes closed, right? On your mark, get set, open your eyes, look for brown, look for brown, look for brown, look for brown, look for brown. Let them look around and say, all right, stop. Now, did you notice any red? Your table's going to say no. It's interesting, power of psychology. And then you'll say, well, you didn't because you were focused on brown. And I bet you that things that were not even brown, you labeled as brown so that it can match your focus. See, that's the power of focus. You get what you focus on. Where focus goes, energy flows. So imagine if you tried this technique with your goals. And that's what we're getting them to do, is that whenever they set laser focus on a goal, then they're now more aware of the surroundings. There's a part of the brain that's going to be activated that is in charge of filtering out what's not necessary for your goal, and you'll be able to detect all the ingredients for your goal through your environment. So you'll be able to find the resources you need because you're going to be more attuned. It's kind of like that effect, like when you buy a car. You buy a new car, and you say you buy a new, I don't know, you get a Honda Accord, and then you look on the road and you start noticing more Honda Accords, right? You start noticing those things. Why? Because you set on a goal. That's what you're focusing on, and that's what not necessarily that you attract. You're just seeing more of that. That helps you with your goals. We're going to talk about the 10-day mental diet. Hernandez and I will lead you into that. Now, this is very, very essential. This is goal setting. Okay, so to start us off, we are very excited to introduce a method of goal setting that was actually developed in Harvard. There's actually a course in Harvard on goal setting. And this is no joke. Like they're pioneering goal setting techniques that are so powerful that in their research they're having a 97-98% completion rate. Like people that set goals in this way have a high achievement rate because it uses psychology. It's not just writing down steps. It's more than that. It's not just a SMART goal. Because SMART goals you'll find are missing 3 components actually. So I don't know what we'll call this, smarter or something. But anyway, so when we get started, we'll go to this slide, and notice you're on here, and I'll explain that in a moment. So what we wanted to make sure is that some parents might choose that for their goal, they might want to have a goal that's directed at helping their child, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's awesome, right? Or some might have, their own personal goals. Some parents want to learn English, learn social media. They might want to start a business. They might want to learn how to, whatever. I mean, there's so many things. But if they choose to pick a goal that's related to helping their child, then we're going to give this document. It's called document D. And document D is still in development, everyone. As you know, it's going down to the wire. This has just been a wild roller coaster ride, but that'll be done. I just want to make sure you get this. You don't need this. You don't need this document now because I'll show you in terms of what you would do. You don't need this right now, so I'll explain why you don't need it. So the idea is that, and we're giving them the instructions. So I'm going to make it very clear here on the slide. Jerry and Jose are giving instructions. All we're going to tell the audience is, here's a goal for the parents to, or not a goal, here's a document that can help you support your child. So it's basically some parenting tips based on research. We're going to say right now for the next 4 minutes, go ahead, read this document quietly, and circle any ideas that are interesting to you. Circle anything or that you might have more questions about. And if you need any assistance with reading the document, our mentors will be more than happy to read it for you. We found, Mr. Hernandez and I, in our teaching experience, that sometimes we have some parents that they can't read. bottom line. So we want to create that safe atmosphere. Like if you need any assistance. So also just keep a lookout if anyone might be struggling. Just kind of wait for them maybe to ask you for any help. And then we ask you to kind of silently, or not silently, but in a low voice, kind of read it to them. And maybe even explain it to them. So it's really cool research. That's it. You're not giving directions. Hernandez and I are giving directions. You would just kind of help anyone read it, or read it to them essentially. Okay, now goal setting. So this Harvard technique starts with which you're going to deliver all the instructions here. So you're taking it away from here on out to the remainder. So it says here, using your dream vision, identify the one goal that would transform your life. So have them go look back at that 4-quadrant dream vision document, which is document A, and have them pick one, a compelling one that, because there's many goals in our life, but have them pick one that is challenging, but if they could only would pick one goal, that's the one it would be, because it would change their life. And they'll be able to identify that. So give them some time to do that. And so I'm going to just kind of, to break it down, is giving them a minute. Okay, so give them a minute to do that. And then what they're going to do is turn that into a SMART goal. So identify a sub goal that, if completed by, and the timeline we're looking at is any time between, let's say, like a 3 or 4 month goal. So I think just to nail a date, we'll say a goal that they would complete in 3 months, and would create momentum and belief in themselves. And then they're going to turn that into a SMART goal using document. It says document F. Just kidding, it's document E now. And then they're going to brainstorm all the steps necessary to reach that goal. So let's show you what that looks like. So you have 2 documents. You actually have a sample that's already completed, but this is what they're going to be creating it on. And so they're creating on this document here. So I'll just show you the completed one so that you can see how they would fill it out. So this is a sample one. Their goal. So we want them to be specific on what they want to accomplish. So here's an example. My goal is to lose 25 pounds in 3 months. Notice how it's very quantitative. It tells you exactly, and be able to run 4 miles straight without getting tired. A goal like I want to lose weight and feel better. They can give more detail. So this is definitely much better. And then why this goal? Have them figure out a why. Again, a compelling why pulls us towards our goals, even when it gets tough. So that's really important. It's research based. So if they say, "Oh, I just want to lose weight because I want to look better," ask them to dig really deep. So one way you can help them in doing this is just by asking the why. Well, why is looking and feeling better important to you? And then you keep asking that again. Well, why is that important to you? And if you keep doing that, you get actually to their inner motivations, and then that is what driving them. And then you tell them, yeah, write that down, write that down. So here's an example of a deep response after asking several whys. Well, why is that important? My health is not good. I'm always feeling tired, and I would love to have more energy so that I can pursue other goals, and so I can have more energy to take my daughter places. I want to be my best self for my daughter. Now that is like at the root of it. That's better than just saying, so I look better, right? You see how deeper this is? This is now a drive that this parent or student will now reach their goal. Outcome or results. So here's where we want them to be very, very specific in terms of measurability, because then that's the only way you know that you actually got to your goal, right? If I say I want to feel better, then when exactly have I reached it? When, I wake up one day, oh, I feel better. We want it to be more specific. So for example, I will know I met my goal because when I get it on a scale in 3 months, and I didn't finish this, sorry, I will weigh whatever it is, 120 pounds, okay, or 30 pounds, whatever. Okay, I am extremely confident I will reach this because now this is just all research embedded, but for them to be able to state this with confidence, why they're going to reach it, it's very affirmative. It's very, very powerful. So here's an example. I won't exercise with my friends anymore because they get off track. They skip days. They're not the best motivators. They're also not in the best shape. Instead, I'll have a mentor and I will exercise with a group of friends that are workout experts. So they keep me focused, stay strict, and actually give me good tips. And when that person writes it down in such a way that they know they're going to do it because they have the right mindset or the right strategy, then that's how you know that they wrote it down correctly. And then finally, your goal should be time-based. I'll reach my goal by, and again, 3 months, November 10th. That's from the date of the workshop, August. All right, so then this is, again, all research-based. So all this they complete. They don't go into this yet, okay? So they don't go into the action timeline. They don't do this yet. So that was just the first slide. That was just the first that we're going to say this is slide 38. So right here, and this would be the first 10 minutes, okay? So we're going to say slide 38, 10 minutes. Okay. Now, and by that I mean step 1 to 3, because I didn't talk about step 4, which is brainstorming. So this is step 1 to 3. Now, step 4, that will also be 10 minutes. Okay? So watch. So step 4, brainstorm all the steps necessary to reach that goal. So let's go to document E. And if you go to the bottom, that's the brainstorm. So they're going to have their goal in there and they should write it out. Okay, so I should have transferred whatever it says here, right? Lose 25 pounds in 3 months, so they would write that in here, right? Lose 25 pounds in 3 months. Okay, forgot to do that. Sorry about that. And then they just brainstorm like crazy. They're not thinking about so much what the best plan is and which one they should do first. They just do a mind dump, for lack of a better word. They just brainstorm, throw everything out there. It's not about perfection, it's just everything. And you tell them to list 20 to 30 things. The more, the better. And ideas will come out slowly but sometimes they'll struggle. Well, I don't know what to do. So a good technique is to ask them, well, what if you knew what to do? What if you were a workout expert? What would a workout expert do? Oh, it just baffles me when I ask that simple question how much more information I get from people. It's all psychology. Anyway, just ask them that. And so it's just an example. Oh, I'll buy a treadmill. Oh, I'll drink lots of water. Eat healthy. It's not about which one's perfect or not. Just let them go. And they'll be surprised that they have a lot of ideas. So let them get a lot of ideas out on paper. Right? Now, next thing. So that will be 10 minutes. That's brainstorm. You'll help them with that. You can have them help each other if you want. You can essentially support that group and whatever you'll study that group well and figure out what might be best for them. Now we'll get into slide 39. And slide 39, this is the rest of it. So this will be the next 30 minutes. Slide 39. Oops, I should write that here. So slide 39 is 30 minutes. Okay, this is the rest of it. Now, so everything else here, even though the instructions are there, I'll just kind of walk you through here by looking at this. All right, so now what they do is they, out of the 30 things they wrote down, or 20, push them for 30, okay? Now they're going to start prioritizing because they're not going to do everything here. They're going to now think about which ones are the top 10 best items here. And then they're going to start, just have them circle them. Just circle the top 10. So they're circling. All All right, I didn't have 30 here, but imagine this thing filled. And they're going to circle them, right? Now they have 10 that they circled amongst the 30. Then they're going to rank them in order of priority. Like if they were to make it chronologically, which one makes the most sense going first? All right. So maybe before any of this, they want to contact their mentor to devise a plan. So then maybe that'd be step one. Maybe they need to buy workout shoes. Maybe that's step two. So they just now need to do it in chronological order that makes sense. So again, write 30 things, circle the top 10, prioritize those numerically so they put a 1 next to it. And then, taking that, the next thing is to place them into their action steps. So let's look at the example here. Turn them into action steps. So step 1, I'm going to put the date here. And then I'm going to contact Gabby. I'm going to ask her questions about best workouts to do. And you know what? I'm just going to start. I'm going to do jumping jacks, 5 to 10 minutes. Why am I going to wait? I'm going to do something. There you go. Then here, they're going to write the resources, the people, the mentors that they can lean on. That forces them to be resourceful. What resources can I use? That very question. So I can use Gabby, my friend. I can, I have 2 online videos about working out that I'm ready to watch. And I found out, that's it, right? Then obstacles and plan of action. So this is about foreseeing in the future what any distractions, or you're just being really real with yourself. Like when you look at that action goal in your mind, what do you anticipate as being a little roadblock to that goal? We all have it. It might be like, oh, well, shoot, I have trouble waking up. Man, let me, and at least you're thinking about it ahead of time and you're creating a plan. That way you don't fall into habit. That's research-based. That's how you reach your goals. You pre-plan them. Again, this is Harvard-based, right? So if Gabby, let's say, if Gabby's not available, then I'll contact George. So already a plan of action in case, kind of like a plan B, right? Then lastly, rewards are important for intrinsic motivation. We should not celebrate after all these action steps and only when we lose the weight, for example. It should be incrementally. So make sure that they are including these little tokens or rewards. And essentially, that's it. The last part will be at the very end. So I'll go back to this document. Now at the end, now they're going to return, right? So keep in mind that the parents were separated from students. Now they're going to return. We're just going to ask them to get up and find their child. And then they're essentially going to sign the support agreement. They're basically going to exchange these documents and then sign it. And so the child will write, I, so-and-so, solemnly pledge to support my mom, and write their name, in reaching this important goal by, and all you're writing is like, the child is just writing how they're going to help their parent. Vice versa, the parents are making this document also, so they would write their name as well. And that's it. And then after that, we're going to do a quick congratulations. Certificates will be at their table, so you distribute them. They're going to be in a folder, and distribute them to your team. High five them, again, as a family. Give that family environment. They can use that for parent-student hours. And then we'll talk about other things, and then we'll have Mayor Alex Vargas do a closing remarks, and that'll be it. That's it. So I'm going to send you the Google Doc, and just on it, it's just simple. It's got, I think just little slots for you to write what your comments are, and that's it.